This is our first non-TF2 question of the video. You're really gonna regret doing that in a second, sir. Oh, what'd I tell you? Hello. 2 health warrior, 2 health warrior, 2 health warrior. God, I'm so fucking strong. Do you have a sandwich for me by chance? Thank you, sir.
Make up mine.
Howdy y'all, and welcome to the inaugural reintroduction episode of Casual Questions. In case you weren't around for it back in my early days of TF2 YouTube, hello heavy, I like your eyes. This is just gonna be a fun little series where I'll play some casual TF2 while answering questions from the audience. My reason for wanting to create a series like this is numerous. Scout, get out of the way, go, go. Oh, he didn't make it. Poor guy, got immolated. But yeah, part of my reason for wanting to make a series like this is because I've always wanted to do a consistent live commentary output in terms of my TF2 videos, especially because I don't stream, but I've never found myself to be especially good at live commentary when I don't have anything in specific to talk about. So I figured answering some questions from the viewers while I play live casual TF2 would be a fun way to get more of my gameplay broadcasted unfiltered. It'd be a good way to engage with the audience a little bit, have a conversation with you guys, get more information about me and my views on the game out there, and just generally to have a fun, chill little thing to put out in between my major projects. So if you're at all interested, make sure to shoot me a question in the comments below, or just, you know, sit back and enjoy. Put this on in the background where you play something. As you can see right now, we are on the map Carrier, and this map's really neat. I've played on it a few times. I actually played on it a bit earlier today. Basically, what you do is one player becomes a giant bomb-carrying robot, and they become the payload, and they have to carry the bomb to the end of the map to capture the objective and win the round. It's kind of like Valve's old scrapped civilian mode game mode, but it allows the robot to fight back and actually contribute to the match, which is really fun. It's a neat concept for a game mode, and I'm excited to see how this goes. We were off to a rollicking good start with our teammates blowing up and the robot being a seemingly laggy scout, but we'll see what we can get done. I'm obviously playing heavy in this video, so let's roll out. The first question we have comes from King Crusher, and he wants to know, if I could add, remove, or rework one weapon in TF2, one each, sorry, what would it be? I'm gonna die here, but it's okay. If I could add, rework, and remove one weapon from TF2 each, what would I do? So starting with reworking and removing, and I think this is a really fun question. It starts us off on a good TF2 adjacent starting ground. So the weapon I would rework, first of all, is the Vaccinator. I know you all were probably expecting me to say I'd want to remove that one, considering my most recent video, but I think the Vaccinator does have a bit of a contextual... I got headshot, Jesus Christ. I think the Vaccinator does have a bit of a contextual place in TF2. Oh, speaking of Vaccinator, it's right there, and it's helping us win. A medigun that allows you to... resist damage is a fun concept. I just think its balance could be a little better. I think all you really need to do to make the Vaccinator less of like an instant win button in a lot of situations is to make it so there's a cost, maybe a cooldown timer, or a resource bar on changing resistances, if that makes sense. That soldier just flopped over like a pancake. I really think that's all you need to do. Just make it so that switching resistances isn't free and instant, so that classes can't just tank multiple types of resistances at a time. As for a weapon I would remove, I'd probably go with the Thompson. The Thompson pisses me off. That thing is stupid. It is such a horse hockey asinine design for a TF2 weapon. It doesn't do anything. It's bad. It feels like shit to use. It's not fun to use. It's not fun for the enemy to be on the receiving end of. We won already. Sorry about that, folks. We're on defense now, so this one should last a little longer. But yeah, all the Thompson does is give a big middle finger to medics and spies who happen to get clipped by its long-range shots. It's not particularly fun to fight against, not fun to use. Its aesthetics clash with the game's art style in a way that I feel isn't present on the other laser weaponry. I just think the Thompson needs to fucking go. I think the game would be better off without it. And as for a weapon I would add to TF2, I would probably go with, I've always said this is not the first time I've said this in a video. I would love it if Heavy got a lunchbox item. This is my Robo Sandwich, by the way. I just bought this. I would love it if Heavy got a lunchbox item that was a burger, just a big old steamed ham Krabby Patty that he could eat. That would give him full crit resistance and maybe a defense buff for like 15 seconds. You can make it not heal him like the buffalo steak. Make it the defense equivalent to the buffalo steak. But yeah, make it a fully defense-oriented, heavy lunchbox item that he could use to help him tank, help him square off against snipers, things like that. I love that default heavy that's just standing there, not even doing anything while the sniper dies. We got some sensationally lucky crits, and we're gonna die, but it's okay because we killed the bot. We are off to a good start. But yeah, weapons I would add, remove, or rework to TF2. I would add a burger that gives Heavy a defense boost and crit resistance, but no healing. I would rework the Vaccinator to make it less free to switch resistances on it, make it a bit more skill intensive, and I would remove the Pomsin, because that thing is truly a mystery of weapon design, why they thought that was okay. Our next question, as soon as I finish killing this medic here, I will go ahead and check that. Luckily, the heavy that the medic was healing didn't think to actually point his gun at the guy who was shooting his medic. The Spy, the actual red Spy from TF2, thank you for showing up my comment, Spy. That's a big celebrity to show up in a little old YouTuber like mine's comments. But the red Spy actually wants to know, I'm on a kill streak, cool. The red Spy actually wants to know, am I happy with the current state of TF2 with no major updates and everything? And here's the thing, it could always be better, but it could certainly be worse. That's something very important to keep in mind. TF2 is a 17-year-old game running on a legacy engine that barely functions. It's held together with clothespins and chewing gum, and it is still supported. It still has, like, oh, I got headshot, wow. It still has several tens of thousands of players at all times, getting upwards of 100,000 players whenever a major update drops or anything like, well, not a major, but a seasonal update or something like that drops. I was just earlier today getting in my feelings about, like, man, TF2 only had like 38,000 players earlier today. That's kind of a valley for how it's been recently. Then I looked, my fellow TF2 YouTuber Lonkudor, who I'm working on a collab with, was playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, which is a game he really likes. And I looked up, like, what that game's player numbers looked like for the time. And PvZ Garden Warfare 2 is managing, like, 1,000 players at a time. So TF2, despite being much, much older and much more intrinsically niche, is managing player numbers that are 38 times greater than Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I'm gonna go ahead and duck this sniper. He still got me. But it's managing player numbers that are 38 times better than Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, even with its age and its, like, archaic design and everything, and that's really impressive. I'll take a TF2 that doesn't get major updates, but is still playable and enjoyable over a TF2 that is being butchered by too much work being done on it or predatory practices being put into it or things like that, if that makes sense. Once again, TF2's current state could be much better, but it could also most certainly be much worse. All right, so they capped and I died, but that gives us the opportunity to discuss the next question, which is Maple wants to know, what is the rarest hat I've ever seen in TF2? And that's actually a pretty interesting question because I had to think on it for a second. I've obviously seen some really wacky unusuals. I believe I've seen one or two of the old, like, unusuals you could get, like, a guaranteed, like, totally unique one if you documented a bug before they added the finder's fee. So, like, I don't know, like, a Burning Flame Spine-Chilling Skull, or, like, a Sunbeams Bill's hat, or anything like that. I'm not really inclined to count those, because those are one-of-a-kind items, and I wouldn't say they're explicitly the rarest. I would say, back in the early 2010s, Valve did a charity event to help the relief for a series of terrible earthquakes that had recently struck Japan. If you donated a certain amount of money to this charity drive, you received exclusive limited TF2 items that were untradeable, unmarketable. You just got these cool hats to show, like, hey, I donated a lot of money to help Japan in the wake of these earthquakes. I can't remember the name of the item, but one of these hats is this really tall black and yellow, like, samurai helmet, and I believe that was the $100 donation incentive, and that was the only opportunity to get it, was during the relief for these earthquakes. And I believe that item is the rarest TF2 item I've ever seen. I've seen one person wear it years ago. It was on Badwater. I remember it. We were on, I believe, the second to last point of Badwater where it turns into the final control point, and that is the rarest TF2 item I've ever seen, I believe. I don't think I've ever seen another item that comes close to the exclusivity or scarcity of that one. We're gonna play a little bit of silliness here. We're gonna eat our sandwich and see if we can bait anyone into, oh, actually, Spy, go sap that sentry. I'll shoot it. Let's see if we can work some teamwork magic. Spy did not want to work teamwork magic. And now I'm being hit by the scorch shot. Oh my god, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone in the history of humanity. The fucking robot has an Ullapool caber. I'm still being shot with the scorch shot. I'm out of ammo. This is the worst it's ever been, folks. It's never been like this before. Our next question is a bit more of a loaded one, and it comes from Underglow, I believe their name was. And Underglow wants to know, what are my thoughts on Deadlock, Valve's new multiplayer shooter that a lot of people are positioning as some kind of TF3 or replacement for TF2. Here's the thing. I am not just saying this as a curmudgeonly TF2 player. Guys, there's a sticky right there. I am not just saying this as a curmudgeonly TF2 player who doesn't want this game to have competition from Valve. I personally am not interested in Deadlock. Whoa, he's lounging. I personally am not interested in Deadlock simply because I am not a fan of MOBAs. And I realize Deadlock is kind of a soft MOBA, It's like more Overwatch-esque, but it still has MOBA DNA, and I am not a fan of MOBA games. I tried to play League of Legends when I was a teenager, and I did not take to it. I tried to play Smite, and I didn't take to it. And Overwatch is obviously Overwatch. Out of every, like, MOBA adjacent game I've ever played, I probably like Overwatch the most. I know it's obviously a shooter and not a MOBA, but it has MOBA DNA in it. I'm just not a fan of games like that. Funny story, actually. I got into the, like, private test for Deadlock. They invited me to it. And I didn't play it. I never installed it because I'm just not interested in playing it. I appreciate Valve making a new game and like putting their writing and character design chops to work in like a new and interesting way that they haven't done probably since TF2. I'm personally not too interested in Deadlock as a video game. I think it'll be popular and I think it'll do well, but I'm personally not going to play it. I will, for the time being, I will stick to TF2. Hey, let's kill these guys. Let's make them wish they were never born. Medic did not want to use Uber on me. What a jerk. Get Medic, can't you see I'm on a 4-kill streak? I have a robo sandwich and an unusual on heavy. That means you're supposed to use your Uber on me. That's a joke, by the way. Medic, here. Robo sandwich. There we go. He got it. He said thank you. What a nice fellow. Let's go out and kill some gamers. Oh, that's a gamer we can kill right there. 5-kill streak. Way to go. We are going to shred this guy because he's got Girardi on him. We got him. Let's go. We died for it, but we got the bot. That's what's okay. Got headshot again. We have to respect the sight lines, folks. Our next question comes from Weremy Venti, I believe that's how I pronounce it. And I'm sorry if I'd have said something I'm not supposed to say. I don't know anything about Genshin Impact or these Ventis everyone's always talking about. But they want to know if Heavy was removed from the game, which class would I play in Team Fortress 2? That's another interesting question because Heavy definitely is the class I enjoy the most. I've always enjoyed tanks and, like, damage sponge characters the most in any sort of multiplayer game. But if I had to go with one class to play if Heavy was removed, it would probably be either Engineer or Demo Man. I would say Soldier, but I really don't want to get good at rocket jumping. And I think, like, Demo Man is a class that I wish I had given myself the opportunity to get better at during my early years of playing TF2. For casual, I mean. Oh, I died. Is that a domination or a revenge? It's a revenge, okay. I dominated 2 people this round, and I didn't even realize. I wish I had given myself the opportunity to get better at Demo Man in my early years of playing TF2, because he's definitely one of my weaker classes these days, and one that I feel is important to be at least passable at in terms of skills. So I do wish I'd given myself a better opportunity to be good at Demo Man, and if Heavy was never added to the game, I probably would have gone out of my way to play either him or Engineer. And looks like we're about to wrap up this round, so let's go ahead and answer our last question for this section. Someone, I believe it was Zero Patience was the name, wanted to know, how did I get into Guilty Gear? This is our first non-TF2 question of the video. You're really gonna regret doing that in a second, sir. Oh, what'd I tell you? Hello. 2 health warrior, 2 health warrior, 2 health warrior. God, I'm so fucking strong. Do you have a sandwich for me by chance? Thank you, sir. So, this person, Zero Patience, wanted to know, how did I get into Guilty Gear? Because in case you don't know, I am a Guilty Gear... Oh, I finally blew up. I am a Guilty Gear fan. I like fighting games. I especially like Elfel, Testament, and Bridget. I've only played a bit of Strive, as in terms of, like, my actual experience playing the video game, but I really appreciate its world and characters and, like, setting and everything, and we won. So we're going to carry this conversation into another round. Let's go. Alrighty, folks, we are now on 2 Fort. That's my reaction to Sniper. And the reason we're here is just to kind of give us a backdrop to finish up the discussion from the end of the previous section, just so that we don't leave you high and dry and give the person who asked the question an answer they actually came for. So, Zero Patience asked me, and we're playing Sniper, by the way, just because I wanted to use the Huntsman. But Zero Patience asked me, how did I get into Guilty Gear? Pyro, I can't see your conscientious objector. I'm sorry. That's a Demo Man. Zero Patience asked me how I got into Guilty Gear, and the reason for that is a little more layered than you might think. It wasn't just that I downloaded the game and played it and had a good time or anything. It was a pretty lengthy endeavor for me to get into Guilty Gear. So starting out, I really liked some of Guilty Gear's characters. I especially liked characters like, obviously Soul's really funny, Soul bad guy, and I knew about Faust. I also really liked, like, obvious audience favorites with people like me, who were characters like Bridget, Testament, Elfelt, characters like that. Oh, we fucking got him. Hey. Oh, God. Oh, God. And I had a passing appreciation and familiarity with Guilty Gear from, like, just being in the fighting game scene and, like, knowing who the characters were and stuff. That said, I didn't actually give Guilty Gear an earnest try as a game until I started hanging out in Big Yellow spaces. And if you don't know who Big Yellow is, they're a lovely YouTuber who makes videos about fighting games, competitive Pokemon, some more niche stuff like Worms 3D and Lego and things like that. But Big Yellow makes really wonderful videos, and they're a sensationally lovely person. Got no complaints with Big Yellow. You can't disguise as a hoovie on my watch. But yeah, Big Yellow is a YouTuber who's just absolutely lovely, and they had actually watched my content before they became a YouTuber. Because I've been making heavy main content on YouTube for, like, close to a decade. I just deleted all of it before I came back to TF2 YouTube in 2023. And I went into Big Yellow's Twitch chat one day, and I said, "Hi, hello, everyone, how you doing?" And Big Yellow actually knew who I was. And they were like, "Yo, is that..." Yo, he flopped. Big Yellow said, "Oh, is that Teolopal from TF2? And I said, "Yeah, it is." And I wouldn't say me and Big Yellow are friends, per se. We've never, like, had an actual conversation or, like, been in a Discord call together or anything. Actuals with on Blue Sky, and who I can, like, at and, like, consult for a question if I need to or anything like that. And they're just a wonderful, wonderful person, and they're a big Guilty Gear fan. They actually included a lot of Guilty Gear characters in their ongoing Tamagotchi live stream series. And that was my first exposure to a lot of the more finer nuances and inner workings of Guilty Gear as a series. Once again, Elfel, Testament, Bridget, characters like that. And I decided one day, like, you know, I'm gonna give this game an earnest try. Oh, hit him. Let's finish him off. We got him. But yeah, I bought the, like, $100 Guilty Gear Strive, like, edition that came with all of the content that was in the game at that point. And I played it, and I loved every second of it for, like, a month. And then I got exposed to some of the nastier sides of the Guilty Gear community, specifically, like, fans of the older games who were really angry about Strive for, like, dumbing it down and casualizing it and stuff. And I specifically went to look at the Steam reviews for Xrd, which is the second most recent Guilty Gear game as far as I know. And the reviews on that thing are just so it's just so awful and, like, just rancid. It's all people going like, "Oh, this is the last real Guilty Gear game before they dumbed it down with slur, and just awful shit like that." And it really made me less inclined to want to, like, further indulge the series more seriously. But I did enjoy what I played of Strive, and I would love to get back into it someday, just to really give it another earnest whirl and see if I can end up really getting into it like I did some other fighting games. You know, we're talking about Guilty Gear. This sniper looks kind of like Gold Lewis. That's it, mister. You gotta go. Got him. We're about to lose, but I went neutral in kills and deaths in this game. That's alright by me. I'm comfortable with mediocrity. Let's just see this round through to its end and see if we can get a few more kills before we ultimately wrap this up. That spy has been disguising as a friendly heavy the entire round, and I don't know what he's doing. Alright, let's go. This is for all the marbles. This is the push. I told you, this is the push. We got the medic. We pinned him to the wall. I missed. Alrighty. Oh, we lost. Well, that's going to be the end of the video, everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed. This is just kind of a rough pilot for what the series might look like. I might try to make future episodes a little more structured, a little less chaotic. This is my first time recording live comm in a while, but either way, thanks. Hope you had a fantastic day before, during, and after watching. And if you're at all interested in having a question in a future episode of this series, just let me know in the comments. Thanks. Hope y'all had a fantastic day before, during, and after watching, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks, and cheers.